Good evening, everyone. I know what you're all thinking. Dusty, where are the cooking videos? Well, I actually have some filmed. I've been really busy, so they're not really edited. And I'm not going to edit them much. In case you haven't noticed, I just don't like editing at all. So, you're not watching this channel for my cool graphic design skills. You're watching it hopefully for content. And this will be the last video before we get into cooking, I promise. But as a vegetarian in Japan, there's a few things that you really need to get comfortable with, and that is the certain kanji. So first, and I'm gonna, probably put some cool little, subtitle thing as well, and also I'll put these in the sidebar so you can check them out. But anyway, that top one is sakana. That means fish or seafood. The next one, niku, meat. The next one, mu, it means non or without. So let's look at this. This looks like kind of a, like a crane, like a four-legged crane, right? You can get that picture. So that's easy to remember. This one, think of those things as like a rib cage, like a little animal with a rib cage. So that's meat. And not only just beef, like a lot of things will have that kanji with it, even other animals. And then this one looks like an animal, but it's like a big cage and then four legs. So I know mu and sakana are to the unknown eye kind of similar, but just memorize those and you'll be okay. So yeah, obviously if you're a vegan, then you want to stay away from fish and meat. So those, just read the label, and if you see those two kanji, you know it's in there. And just, choose something different. And looking at curry powders and curry mixes, the common thing here is to get the pre-packaged, looks kind of like an ice cube tray, and you just plunk one of these little cubes into your simmering vegetables and stuff. But anyway, a lot of that stuff has meat in it, so you got to be careful. And even if it says vegetable curry on the front, you never know. So just check it out. And then the naan, that's very common. Without naan, things like that. So what you're concerned with is like non-sweetened or non-sugar, without artificial flavors, things like that. So here's soy milk. I don't actually know what all the rest of that means, but pretty much I was told, no added sugar, and it does not have sugar added. So that symbol, that kanji mu, is that first one. So there it is. It's all coming together, right? Here's another one. I think it's on here. Okay, yeah. So this is very small, but it's that first kanji right there. And what this is, it's just a tube of ground ginger, because I'm too lazy to grind my own, and I don't have a grinder. But it's the mu, and it's no artificial color. You know how you go to some sushi restaurants and the ginger is like a reddish or pink color? Well, that's artificially colored. Ginger root is like a yellowish, beige kind of color. So anyway, this just says no added colors. So good stuff. Also, things to look out for as far as label reading are just the normal stuff that you would look for back home, like carbohydrates, fat, protein, fiber. Those are really the main ones. Sodium, of course, being here where it's an over-salted country, in my opinion. That's one thing to look out for. So I will post those in the sidebar. So yeah, carbohydrates, protein, fat, and sodium are the main ones, and you'll see that on just about every single thing you look at as far as the label goes. Fiber you won't see very much. They don't break down the carbohydrates into fiber and sugar. like they do in other countries. So it's kind of tricky. The only time they're ever going to really list fiber is if it's like advertised as having fiber, like a particular cereal or something like that, or a fiber supplement. And then the sugar content, it's not going to be explicitly listed. It'll just be carbohydrates. So you kind of have to just figure it out on your own. If it's a liquid and there's a lot of carbohydrates, there's probably a lot of sugar. If it's like a baked good, well, there's also flour, which has carbohydrates. Still, you want to keep those as low as possible, typically, unless you know what it is and it's like whole grain and things like that. I think that's about it for now. And like I said, cooking will follow, but I just wanted to get those things out there because you're going to want to look for those. You're going to want to be aware of what you're eating, and not being able to read the labels is intimidating. It really is. You go to a store and it's like, well, what is this? I have no clue. Especially if you have a restricted diet. Now, if you don't, great, just try it. That's what I recommend. If you're not a vegetarian or anything, just buy it and try it. That's really the best way to experience anything. But for those of us that have restricted diets, you just have to learn these things. You have to memorize the kanji, and then eventually you'll just look at it and know exactly what you're dealing with. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Stay tuned.